I was walking down the street, and with some new shoes on my feet, I saw a man staring at me, and I knew he wanted my shoes. So I said, "Hey sir, shoo away. You're not getting these shoes today." And he said, and I was like, "No sir, McDonald's serve the specials on Wednesdays, okay? Here's $50. You could go to Wendy's and get the same deal." Welcome to Ramos Stories, baby. How are you doing today? My name is Dan Ramos. I think today is a Saturday at 8 p.m. 01. I hope you guys are having fun. And gals, I think I'm gonna slowly evolve with my little standing studio over here. Decided to keep the piano. Add a little mixer here. Have a little funny looking light. And my producer's over here to my left. What's up? How's your weekend? Yeah? Okay, shut up. Dan Ramos comedy. You know, sometimes I want to take it slow, baby. I gotta stop it. What's up? This is episode 3. Thank you for tuning in to the 2 people that are watching. Thank you. You know, it's so funny. I'm on Spotify, where you can find Ramos Stories on Spotify, and I see like the top countries that are listening, right? So I want to give a quick shout outs to 62% of my listeners from the US, 20% Canada, and then third, 10% Germany. Willst du mein Mulsken sehen? Ja. Willst du Apfelstrudel? Ja. Dan Ramos comedy. All right. So you got US with 62, Canada with 20%, Germany 10%, Philippines 1%. I'll take it. It's probably my cousin. Not cousin's cousin. United Kingdom 1%. Who? The Queen? If you are this 1%, please message me. Email me at danramoscomedy@gmail.com. United States, Canada, Germany, Philippines, UK, Australia, Ireland, Mexico, Brazil, India, Singapore, Spain, Kuwait, Austria. Is there a babe in Austria listening to me walk back and forth with my slippers? Because if so, I don't know. I've never been there. Never been to Europe. Got Austria, Thailand, New Zealand, Vietnam, Turkey, Taiwan, Nepal? Who are you? Whoever you are, please, just... Morocco. Find me on the Reddit thread. U/Dan Ramos, please. We got Nepal, Morocco, Ukraine, Iran, Japan, Peru, Bahamas, Sweden. I'm just gonna keep on. You got Netherlands, Norway, Switzerland, and Portugal. View more. What? No, that's it. So Portugal, you're at the end. Please keep on listening. Keep on watching Ramos Stories. Find me on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Gender, you got 69%. 69% male, 26% female. I'm sorry, maybe my content isn't. No, it's for everyone. You got 4% non-specific, and then 0.1% or 1% non-binary. Love it. Okay, well, thank you so much for tuning in. Comedy memorabilia. That's a running theme in every episode. Because some people are too lazy to have themes in their podcast. Anyway, right now I want to talk about this thing. It's a hoodie, or a short sleeve hoodie with a Chappelle logo. Pauly Shore was having a one-man show. And I asked his opener, Sandy Danto, whom I've met several times, first at the Comedy Stores as he was, performing in the OR. And then a couple of years later, I booked a commercial with him, booked a Grubhub commercial. Let's cut to that. Come back. Thank you, Dan. No problem. We both didn't have a car at the commercial, so they just let us hang out for like 8 hours. We were in the commercial. We were like the faces, and then they just let us chill. So, so they put us in the trailer area, and Sandy, tells me his comedy life story. He tells me how he opens for Pauly Shore and how Pauly brought him everywhere, and I'm like, oh my God, it's kind of cool, hanging out with the Weasel and all. And so we booked that Grubhub commercial. We're like tight, And then like 3 years later, I see a poster of Pauly Shore's one-man show, Stick with the Dancing. It's an hour of his life. Go check it out if you can. And I messaged Sandy. I'm like, yo, Sandy, do you think Pauly needs a videographer or a photographer? Sandy goes, yeah, let me ask. 2 minutes later, I get a text from Pauly. Yo, come to the store at 3. I'm like, okay. I go to the Comedy Store. And I'm there, and I'm like, okay. I'm sitting in the main room, waiting in the main room. So that's where he's going to do his one-man show, and the screen is down, and I'm sitting there for, I think, about over an hour. And it's just his life. He stills, NTV interviews, him, and pictures of him and Sam Kinison. For an hour, I'm just taking it in. I'm like, I'm about to meet this guy. Is this how he introduces himself to everyone? Sit over here and watch my life. He comes in after like an hour and 5 minutes. And then I get up from the booth and I look at him, and he looks at me and he's like, and I'm looking at him the same way. I'm like, this guy's crusty too, huh? He's like, and I'm like, yeah, you too. He's like, all right, tonight I'm going to have my one-man show. Just, interview the people at the end of the show. When they're coming out, and ask them if they like the show or not, what was their favorite part. I'm like, perfect, okay. I do the job. I show him the footage at the end of the night. He damps me up. He's like, cool. 3 days later, he messages me and goes, hey man, you wanna help me with this thing? I'm like, what? He's like, what are your thoughts of me, sleeping in people's homes and stuff? And I'm like, that's kind of funny. I could mic you up. I have a lavalier, a lav mic, and I have a wide enough lens with several batteries that I could, shoot them easy. And he's like, all right, cool. Hangs up. I'm like, oh, he just wanted to pick my brain. And then he calls me back. He's like, all right, you're going to come with me to Ohio and Indiana. I'm like, for what? Am I gonna? Oh, I'm not thinking of opening for him. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be shooting the Weasel. So he flies me to Ohio. And on the first night, we're at the Funny Bone, and it was it was insanity. Every night was sold out, 2 shows, and it was crazy. Pauly is like, if we're gonna be walking around, you're gonna be with me, okay? So if he's on stage, I'm on stage with him. There was this one show where he was sitting on some dude's shoulder, some fat dude's shoulder, and Pauly's like squeezing his face like this, and the guy's just taking it, and I'm there with the camera, and like people are sitting behind me, and we're at the front, and I'm like, this is... The Midwest loves the Weasel, okay? The second night, he does 2 shows. We get back to the hotel around 2:30, you know. And we're about to sleep. I get a knock on my door. Hey, we're leaving. I'm like, what? So me and the driver, we're driving away now. Pauly's in the back of this van. He's on his phone. I'm like, we're in the middle of buttfuck nowhere in Ohio, and it's just trees and darkness. Pauly's like, we're gonna go see my friend. I'm like, okay. What's your friend's name? Dave. I'm like, Dave Coulier? It's like, no, idiot. Chappelle. I'm like, why is he in Ohio? I take out my phone, I zoom out Yellow Springs, Ohio. I'm like, this is his home, we're gonna go to his home. And Pauly's like, just cool it. I'm like, yeah, I'm cool. I'm chill. We park, and we see this like weird looking shack with SUVs around. And I'm there, I'm like, who the fuck am I to even be here in this biatch? We get out of the van, we start walking in. Pauly's like, just chill. I'm like, yeah, I'm chill. Dan Ramos comedy, chill. Dan Ramos comedy, chill. We see Donnell opening the door with his joint. In my head, I'm like, Pyaw! Not now, Dan Ramos comedy. Just be chill, Dan Ramos comedy. We enter this weird looking shack. Door opens. And you see black and white pictures of the Roots, Erykah Badu, block party pictures, back in a Bed-Stuy. You make a left. This is dark hall. Still pictures, black and white pictures, but now the pictures are getting bigger and wider. The place opens up. There's a dance floor. There's a DJ playing The World Is Yours. And I'm like, yeah, the world is yours, motherfucker. Pauly's like, yo, chill. I'm like, Dan Ramos comedy, chill. Now we see the dance floor with the disco ball, and in the distance, the Chappelle sign, neon, white, red, and green, and below you see just Chappelle with his glasses pouring out drinks for his homies. There's about like 6, 7 people there. Pauly was like, stick with me. I'm walking in, you know. Phone's off and everything. Pauly's like, baby. Dave's like, Pauly. It's the worst. Dave, I'm sorry. That was the worst impression. He goes around the bar. His entourage pops in, and now I'm there with Pauly, squeezing. Pauly's hugging Dave, and I'm there. I'm like, "What's up, Dave? How's it going? Hey, am I the only Filipino guy here other than your wife?" Pauly's like, "Hey," I'm like, "It's too late, man." He goes, "No, there's some Filipinos here." I'm like, "Not your kids, man." He goes, "You want a drink?" I don't really drink. Pauly, once in a while, we look at each other. He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Yeah, we'll get a drink, Dave." He's behind the bar pouring out. It's like around like 4 already. He's pouring drinks, giving me one. Salud. Red cup. I stole the red cup. Red cup. And then for the next 3 hours, it's just Pauly and Chappelle at the bar, like just chilling. And I'm there beside Pauly, just trying to remember things so that he doesn't forget, And, I'm like, "Where the hell are we gonna stay?" Pauly's like, "Dave got us a hotel at Mills Park." The night ends. We go to the hotel. Nice, very quaint hotel. So cute. Pictures of little dogs everywhere, And then the next morning, we wake up, have a nice little brekkie. We leave the hotel, and then to our right, there's a store. Or there's a shop called the Chappelle Shop. I was dying. I was like, "There's a shop there called the Chappelle Shop at the Chappelle Show, but it's a Chappelle Shop for the show." So, Pauly's like, "Yeah, Dave said we could get whatever we want." I'm like, "What?" I go in, and I'm so humble. I'm like, "You know what? I'm going to get a sweater. I'm going to get a lighter, and that's it." Pauly has like 6 pairs of jogging pants, and he's like, "You don't want the boombox? You don't want the Chappelle boombox?" I'm like, "That's one of one, Pauly. That's not even for sale." He's just having a field day. And yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that Ohio experience. Everything else, don't worry about it. But thank you, Dave Chappelle. Thank you, Pauly Shore. Another Chappelle story that I have. Back in 2006, I filmed a mockumentary called Scoopers about the life of 3 ice cream scoopers. And that summer was my 3rd year of university, so I, just needed a job somewhere. And I took the St. Clair streetcar, okay? 521 or something, I forgot the number. And out of nowhere, this beautiful, it was like in Little Italy, this beautiful ice cream shop called Dutch Dreams just popped out of nowhere, okay? There were ice cream cones on the walls, little cow paintings, and little, fake cows and milk containers. It was so weird. You go into the ice cream shop, and it's like clogs. Their waffle selection was tremendous. There was like peanut butter brittle, M&M Skittle, whatever you want, chocolate, the frozen yogurt, crepes, waffles, sundae, banana split, whatever you want. I'm like, I gotta work here. Because number one, it would be a fun place to shoot. And number two, nobody really complains when you're giving them ice cream. So yeah, it'll be chill. Go there the next day. I get the job. And that night I started working. And no, I was wrong. Yeah, a lot of ice cream customers are assholes. Every Sunday, there would be this old black lady on Sundays. She come back for the rum race, and I'm like, all right. She wants I want the tub. I'm like, you want a tub? I get the freaking 2 liter, it was like a gallon, and I'm putting rum rays in, and she's like, make sure there's no air holes. I'm like, make sure there's no air holes. I give it to her. It feels light. I'm like, it feels light. So I'm packing more in my foot. I look like Popeyes over here and olive oil over here because I don't use my left arm. If you know what olive oil looks like, she's very thin. Popeyes because of the muscles of the ice cream. Let's get back to the story, Dan Ramos comedy. I write these little stories or jokes, of, fantasies of... If a customer really gets angry at me, I'm like, scooping, but I'm also putting my snot. I write that down. I didn't do it, okay? Maybe. I didn't do it. After 3 months of working there, September hits, which means going back to school. I quit and I tell my bosses, hey, listen, the reason why I worked here was because... I want to shoot here. I want to, see if I could shoot here for 2 days. This is all the money that I have saved up this summer. Do you think you'll let me? They just go, keep your money, shoot here before 5, and everything's on a house and everything's free. And I'm like, oh my God. I fed my crew ice cream. It was so crazy. Scoopers I wrote. Jeff Chan directed. Mike Heathcote, Jeff Chan did Code 8, check it out. Mike Heathcote was there to help out, but now he's like a Steadicam superstar. Check him out. Danny Kasman, I was going to shout out Danny Kasman. He asked me to mention his name several times. Just Venmo me $50. Danny Kasman, thank you very much. It was an all-star cast, okay? And I had no idea that I was shooting my short film in a very important location because the only other movie that shot in that place was Half Baked with Jim Brewer and Dave Chappelle. So that's the connection to me and Dave. And the ice cream scoopers. Here, let's put a clip. Clip it out. Thank you. Here at Ramos Stories, I tell stories. I love to read. You like to read? You don't have to answer that. I know. No one's going to answer that. So this is a book that I bought years ago. Check it out. Monologues for Young Actors, from classic to contemporary. I never had any real drama training or formal training in acting. But I did a lot of sketch comedy in high school, and then that led on to Riot at Ryerson University, and then I did improv at the Second City in Toronto, and then improv and sketch at UCB in New York. But I never took any acting classes other than if I have a big audition, I'll get an acting coach. But so I would buy these monologue books and just force myself to remember a monologue. And there's one that I remembered, and I don't know why I picked it, but it just felt right. Yeah. Page 124, The Glass Menagerie, Tennessee Williams. A young man has been invited to dinner, but left alone in the living room, and he is talking to her. Although my case was too aggravating, as yours seems to be. I always take this out when the flavor's gone. I don't know why I'm reading this whole thing, but I memorized all 4 pages of it. And then I never use it for auditions or anything. It was just for me, like, to practice, to, you know, just to memorize. And then I started doing this in my stand-up routine. I go, this is my impression of a Broadway actor trying to finish his Broadway monologue, but he can't because he needs to fart. Hi, my name is Andy. I am here to play the role of Jim in the Tennessee Williams play, The Glass Menagerie. Thank you very much. You know what I judge to be the trouble with you? Inferiority complex. You know what that is? That's what they call it when someone low rates themselves and I understand this because I had it too. Although my case was not so aggravated as yours seems to be. I had it on until I took up public speaking and... Huh? Thank you. So, folks, read a book. Idiot. All right. The next weird book I want to talk about... I don't know where I found this, but... Ow. This one's called Taekwondo Dogs by Camp Comic Inc. by Gil De Palma. Gil De Palma. This is a weird one. Now, number one, this is a Filipino comic book. Okay. It just gets weirder. I'm going to show you a couple of pictures. Okay, this guy I can relate to. Look at me. Right, that's me. This one gets weird. This kid... Like, what the fuck? A lot of muscles and a lot of bulbous tits. Like, Taekwondo dogs. So dogs that do Taekwondo. Oh, this... Like a bunch of LA chicks in those onesies. How can you read the font through this? I just broke the... Okay, now I just lost $12. Okay, you know what, guys? Find Taekwondo Dogs by Gil De Palma. And blame me. Sorry. There was a man. And his dog. And the dog ate the man. And the dog became a man. Coming to theaters near you. Wolf, when would you give me a job? Dude, you're half dog, half man, and you have no pants, and you have a dog dick. That sucks. And the dog man went to Japan, trying to understand try to tell him that he has no pants still, and that he's gonna have to go to the dog pound, baby. And the piano just stopped. I gotta get new wires for this shit. So last week, I can't get into any big details, but I ended up being in an Uber ride with Sal Volcano from Impractical Jokers. Let's show that clip. Let's bring it back. Okay. Now, it was wild. He was such a nice guy. I shared to him. I shared a lot within that ride. And, you know, I think I told him, yo, man, you gotta make sure that you're always in the room if you're gonna be editing something, you know? Yeah, that's something. All right, well, that's episode 3 of Ramos Stories. Thanks for tuning in. Dan Ramos here. Thank you. I love you.